All right, an extremely disappointing, frustrating, embarrassing night for the Padres in Detroit, of all places where they've never won, against a Detroit team that's as bad as maybe any team in baseball right now. One of the worst hitting teams in baseball, 54 home runs coming in. They hit 4 in this game. That was a season high for the Tigers. Padres sloppy again, and adding insult to injury is literally an injury to MacKenzie Gore. How does that impact the Padres' pursuit of Juan Soto? We'll talk about it all here on the wrap-up show. John and Jim with you. We'll be with you for the next 45 minutes to an hour. We'd love to hear from you. As always, you can subscribe. That's what we ask of Padres fans. Please subscribe. We have year-round Padres content for you. Smash the like button for us, despite the fact that the Padres were beaten badly here tonight. Follow us on Twitter at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. Also, as a reminder, if you want to make sure we get your comment here tonight, please consider the super chat function by clicking the $ down below. That's a great way to support this channel. If you want to become a member and get the custom emojis like the Jim O-Face emoji that we debuted last night, you can click join next to subscribe down below. Before we get going, Jim, Padres lose 12-4. Where are you coming to us live from tonight? Are you in a bunker or where are you?
I am currently now moved into Date Girl's room. I was in Date Girl's kitchen, and now I'm in Date Girl's room.
And now that's because her roommate is back?
Yeah, so I didn't want them to hear me or see me yelling tonight about Eric Hosmer and what happened tonight's game. All right, I want them to like me, so I decide I'm in the room now.
I think it's pretty smart. Okay, here's the deal. Let's get right to it. I do want to remind our viewers again, if you want to make sure we get your comment here tonight, you can use that super function. So the Padres lose 12-4. I think that there are 3 stories for me, none more impactful than what happened to MacKenzie Gore. There's a lot of elements to discuss in this game, but Gore's injury, he left with quote-unquote elbow soreness. He was missing all over the place. His velocity remains down. Gore's injury directly impacts the Padres at the trade deadline in a number of ways, not just Juan Soto, although specifically with Soto, you'd think he'd be a primary target potentially of the Nats if he was healthy. But now you have a potential hole in your bullpen or in your rotation or as a trade chip, and it's just this big question mark now. Here's the question for me, Jim. Why has his velocity been down for so long? It's been weeks and weeks. Has it been tied to this elbow all along? And when you hear elbow soreness, you immediately go to the worst possible scenario, which is UCL, which could result in Tommy John.
Well, I mean, is anybody surprised by this? He hasn't pitched in 2 years.
Right.
And now they're throwing him out there and pitching him like a lot. And so you get 60 innings, and of course his velocity dips and his control's all over the place. I even before he got out of the inning, there was a moment where I think he gave up a hit and he kind of walked behind the mound and he like kind of shook his head, and you're like, uh-oh. That didn't look good. And then he immediately goes like this with his hands. Yep. And that to me is like the worst possible sign. And you heard Mud on the broadcast. He's like, oh no, like it's not good. You're right. It definitely affects this team in multiple ways. The trade deadline because of now Juan Soto. And 2, you now probably need pitching help.
Do you want to hear me go down the most ridiculous one thing led to another? And that'll lead you to Eric Hosmer.
Okay, perfect. Do that, and then I'll get to this. Yeah,
hear me out. Hear me out, guys.
Right,
this is ridiculous, but this is sports. If Eric Hosmer never commits the error, hear me out.
Okay.
And we'll get into the error, an egregious error. Jim had an amazing rant. If you haven't heard it, we should actually pull it up, Jim. We should pull up the rant.
Right. I don't know if I can duplicate it because it's a one-time thing. It was like in the moment, heat of the moment. Like it was in real time.
If you're not following us on Twitter, follow us on Twitter because the rant is up there at John and Jim, JONANDJIM. Hear me out for this stupid correlation game I'm about to play. Like, McNeese State beat this team and they're better than Alabama. That's what I'm doing here, okay? And we'll get to the supers. Cam, thank you for the super. Greatly appreciate it. We get to all the supers. Thank you guys for supporting this channel. If Hosmer never commits the error, Mania goes deeper into this game, right? I don't know how much deeper. Maybe he didn't have it, and he certainly didn't have it after the error. Manaea works deeper into this game. He's been a workhorse. He's been a 6-7 inning pitcher. If Manaea goes 6 innings in this game, MacKenzie Gore never appears in this game. If MacKenzie Gore never appears in this game, the Padres can make a trade involving MacKenzie Gore sooner rather than later. I mean, is it possible? I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to go full circle. Is it possible Eric Hosmer's boneheaded error cost the Padres trading for Juan Soto here tonight? Again, it's kind of joking, but it's kind of serious. Like, everything is tied together. Everything impacts everything. And the way the Padres played on the field here tonight, put this organization in a tough spot heading against the trade deadline.
Can I steal that?
Please.
Can I steal that from you? Because
I
want to do like a butterfly effect where it's like, if Hosmer didn't do completely fuck up that play, and then it cost the Padres not only the game, but it cost them MacKenzie Gore because he got injured, and then it cost them to get Juan Soto.
Right, exactly. Hosmer cost them Juan Soto.
Hosmer cost them Juan Soto because of that error.
I mean, as stupid as I'm being facetious, it's good for social media, Jim. Feel free to use it. But it just goes to the point of, like, they've been playing sloppy baseball and it catches up to you, and they've been 4 games under 500 now since May 23rd. Think about that. Over the last 2 months and 2 days, this team is 4 games under 500. It's deja vu all over again. And can it be stopped by Bob Melvin or this front office or some other force like Juan Soto or someone else at this trade deadline? We're going to find out. Let's get to the first super of the night while Jim tweets. So 619 Cam says this. He says, I'm effing pissed. Hosmer and Kim, yes, with the poop emoji. Gore, I'm with you. Manny looked checked out. Maybe we still win this series, and who knows, maybe Soto is a Padre next week. Cam, here's the thing. All of it is factual. Even if Gore is hurt and out for a sizable amount of time, even if it's the worst case scenario in Tommy John, that doesn't immediately prevent the Padres from acquiring Juan Soto. Does it make it more challenging? Yeah. Could he have been a centerpiece of a trade? Absolutely. But could CJ Abrams potentially serve as a centerpiece? Could you now have to be forced to add in another player in the minor leagues? Of course. I mean, it's all possible. I don't think MacKenzie Gore's setback here tonight definitively would rule the Padres out of the Juan Soto sweepstakes. Does it make it more challenging? It probably does. It probably does. I don't think it was as simple as saying, hey, if Gore's included, they're going to be able to pull this off. And if Gore's not included, they can't pull it off. I don't think it's as simplistic as that. I really don't. But the Hosmer play was the worst play of the night. The Kim base running gaff was a complete gaff. The fact that the team got in at 4 a.m., you heard Bob Melvin postgame say, did that have any impact in this game? He said 0. That's an excuse. I give Bob Melvin credit for saying that. They're just playing bad baseball, Jim, and they're playing sloppy.
That's the thing we talked about today is just play clean baseball. Is it that to field the ball? Is it that hard to not be stupid on the base pass and get thrown out? Because that is what Bob Melvin has been talking about a lot with his team is they've been not only they've been playing bad baseball, they've been playing sloppy baseball. And that's costing them games. And tonight they lost 12-4, but the game was over second that, I believe, third inning, was it? The fourth inning or third inning?
What inning was that, guys? Was it the third? I feel like it was the third.
The third inning. So the game was over the second that third inning ended. And the second that Hosmer booted that ball, which trickled down to, a grand slam and 5 runs in that inning that were all unearned. So the whole thing is this team has not been playing clean baseball. And if you clean it up, they probably have a couple more wins under their belt. And right now it's just a situation where they just cannot play good, clean baseball at all.
There's no question about it. There's no question about it. Cam, thank you for the super. Let's get to some of these supers here tonight. Again, Padres, very disappointing. It's just 1 of 162. They can still win the series. Everything's still on the table. Even Juan Soto, it's disappointing. And then you add in the injury and you're thinking, oh my, this could be a worst case scenario right now. Let's get to the super from Vector, who says starting Hosmer is actively hurting this team or actively hurts this team. And it's hard to disagree. It really is. Chris,
what's happening over there?
Well, I can't plug it in right now. Yes, I will. My wife is trying to plug in her earbuds or whatever, earphones for a run in the morning, and I will do that after this show. The beauty of live wrap-up shows.
Go plug in right now, John.
You want me to go plug it in right now?
One time.
What'd you say?
Said go be a good husband. One time.
That's hilarious and mean. Okay. So is Hosmer hurting this team by starting him? I mean, again, he's had 7 hits the last 4 games. Have they been impactful? There was that big home run Friday night. It's just, I mean, a play like today where it leads to 5 unearned runs, a ground ball to first is like mind-boggling that can even happen in the big leagues.
That whole inning was because of Eric Hosmer. I'm not going to go the route of, oh, Sean Manaea should have made a better pitch. Like, no, Eric Hosmer should have fielded the fucking baseball. Like, that was the whole inning. If he fields that ball, no run score. Because I think it was single after that, and then
there was like a sac fly and an out.
Yeah, sac fly out, pop or something. So that whole inning and this whole game, this loss to me goes strictly on Eric Hosmer's shoulders, 1,000%.
Yeah, he took some accountability post game. I saw Kevin Acey's article. He spoke with him. He did. He said he needs to make the play, obviously.
This isn't the first time. This is not the first time. Like, that's the thing is, if this was a first time thing, like if Machado did this, right? You're like, man, he's got to make that play. But I don't feel the same way towards Machado as I feel towards Hosmer, because it is the same thing over and over and over again with him. It's not just a one-time occurrence.
No doubt, no doubt. Let's get to another super that rolled in here momentarily or a few moments ago. I'm not sure. Vito, if you have a comment, feel free to get that into the chat. We'll get to it, but thank you for your support of this channel. Thanks for the supers, guys. It's a great way to support this channel. Click that $sign down below. We'll get to all of the supers here on this Monday evening. As you make your way into the chat, please subscribe. We have year-round Padres content for you. Please smash the like button. Follow us on Twitter at John and Jim. By the way, brand new now. You know the wrap-up show cap I always wear, Jim, on these shows? You know that cap.
Yes, I do.
Once, and I get it. If you're on YouTube tonight, whether it is on like a laptop or a desktop or even on mobile, if you scroll down from the video, you're going to see products showcased by the Padres wrap-up show.
Yes.
And you're going to see the wrap-up show snapback baseball cap in there.
Merch link, bro.
Yeah, if you've been looking to pick this thing up, it's right down below. You can do that with just a couple of clicks. We appreciate your support. We got tons of merch. There's a link down below for all of our merch. But if you want to pick up this cap, a couple of people have done that over the last 24 hours. You can do so by clicking that link down below. There's a ton to get to. We need to get to our partners as well. I thought this was funny. Oh, man. Well, you're trying to do something live and like we're trying to charge headphones. It's like, I'll charge the headphone after the show. I promise.
Or you could have, like I said, be like a good husband and said, you know what? I'll get up for 2 seconds and charge the headphones. But instead,
I can't.
It's told Kristen just to go away.
No, she's trying to charge it literally like in my computer, but all the plugs are taken by this show.
Okay. Then what's she doing?
Well, I said I'm going to charge it after the show, which I'm going to do.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, where do we even start, Jim? I mean, I think we start with Hosmer, like we just talked about. That was embarrassing.
We can start with Mark. We can start with Mark Nimitz,
and we can start with Mark Nimitz as well. But real quick on Kim, you're trailing 9-1.
Yeah, that was bad.
You score 3 runs without recording it out, and Kim had a 2-run single. And then I don't even know what happened. The throw came home, and he got a little cute, and the ball got away, and he took this secondary advancement from first, and then he got picked off first, and that was the first out of the inning. And later in the inning, they had 2. Like, they could have bases loaded, nobody out in that inning, 9-4, I think, for Machado. Like, they would have been tying run in the on-deck circle like that immediately in an instant after falling behind 9-1. But again, it's like when something goes bad, everything goes wrong. And Hosmer had the bad play in the field. Kim had the bad play on the bases. And after that, the rest was history. Gore allowed some runs. Padres never seriously threatened after that.
And you look at the Kim play. Do they win the game if Kim isn't thrown out there? Probably not.
Right.
Do they have a chance to win the game if Hosmer doesn't boot that ball?
Yeah,
I think they do. But still, I still think, if you want to say which one's worse, there might be an argument for Bob Melvin to be more upset with the Kim being thrown out there, because that's just being stupid, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's literally just like something that is 100% avoidable. People make errors all the time. Now, granted, the error that Hosmer made on a ball that should be picked every time, if
Mm-hmm.
you're a Major League Baseball player, you could also make the argument that yes, errors like that happen. But getting thrown out on the base pass, those are all mental mistakes all the time. Like almost 100% of the time, those are all mental mistakes. Unless you get picked off at first base and guys, it's an amazing move, pick-off move. Those are hard. But still, getting thrown out by rounding the bag too much or too far, and then not getting back to that's just a boneheaded play. That can't happen.
It was. You're right. Both of those plays just can't happen. You're right. One was mental in Kim. The other was just egregious. And first baseman in the big leagues just need to make the play.
Yeah.
As simple as that. We do want to tell you about our title sponsor, Mark Nimitz, as we always do. We're unable to do this show without the support of Mark at Farmers Insurance, who I think texted me when it was 9-1 and said, "What the WTF is this?" I said, Hosmer and Gore. That's all you need to know. Auto, home, renters, life insurance, earthquake insurance. Mark Nimitz is your guy. You can get a quote online. Click on the link down below, and you can get to Mark's website. He could save you $750 this year on your insurance just by switching. I've got my homeowners and my earthquake insurance through Mark. We recently had a claim here in this house. He took care of everything. We were out of our place for a couple of weeks. He made it seamless and easy, saved us literally thousands of dollars, and made a process that typically would be a hassle, and he made it a lot easier than it really, I thought, was going to be. So I thank Mark Nimitz for that. If you have insurance needs, Mark is your guy. He's a San Diegan and a huge Padres fan. And if you support this channel and you want to support a local business and you have insurance needs, and typically over the course of the year, you're going to. So if you're in a renewal process, or you're looking for insurance, or you're just looking to save money, or you're looking to support this channel, please go with Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance, the title sponsor of the Wrap-Up Show.
All his information, top corner there, right there. Nimitz at farmersagent.com. Also his number there. When you reach out to him, let him know that John and Jim from the Wrap-Up Show sent you.
All right. Thank you again, Mark, for your support of this channel. I mean, I think the game is summarized in Hosmer, Kim, Gore. I think what's most impactful is not losing the game or the boneheaded plays. It's MacKenzie Gore's future, whether that's short-term, how long is he going to be out? I mean, Jim, even if this is precautionary and everything checks out okay, he's got to be shut down here for a period of time, and probably a significant period of time, like weeks. Like you said, the writing was on the wall. He hadn't thrown all but 50 combined innings the last 2 years. He's already blown by that here in 2022. I just don't know how he could be counted on the second half of the year, even if this isn't a major injury. And of course, if it is a major injury, you got problems that could potentially impact you in 2023 as well.
What did Bob Melvin said it was a sore elbow?
Correct. He'll be examined in San Diego on Thursday. They'll do some work on it the next couple of days, just the symptoms, but he'll be examined in San Diego on Thursday.
With the way this team, gives injury information, I have 0% faith that we'll see him anytime soon. Like,
agreed.
When you start doing this on the mound, stretching your fingers out, and you're diagnosed with a sore elbow, and you're throwing 90 miles an hour when you usually throw 95, that's a problem. And by problem, I mean, I don't want to speculate, but it's a problem. Not good. So
yeah, it is a problem. I mean, even if it was a minor thing, here's the thing. Here's the problem with it being an elbow when you start thinking about Juan Soto. If this was, hey, he fell off the mound awkwardly and tweaked his ankle, like who did that?
Fine. I'd rather
you could still move him. If the Padres said, listen, he's got a minor ankle sprain and he'll be out 7 to 10 days, he's absolutely movable. That doesn't hold up a trade. He's a 23-year-old with 5.5 years of team control. So what? Guys get ankle sprains. When you hear elbow, at this point, it's hard for me to envision that he could be dealt. Now, you could argue that that's a good thing, that this is a player that could help this team a lot over the next 4 or 5 years. But the idea that he would be a part of a Juan Soto deal, to me, is hard to envision.
Sorry, can you hear that? There's like fireworks going on outside.
Yeah, it sounded like a gunshot or something.
That's why. And I was like, wait, what's happening? Yeah, this whole MacKenzie Gore situation, it's another like almost butterfly effect, right? Because you lose a pitcher, you potentially lose a major trade chip for Juan Soto. And if you lose out on Juan Soto because MacKenzie Gore is now significantly injured and the Nationals don't want to take that deal, and then they rather take the Dodgers deal instead, and it all comes back to just because MacKenzie Gore got hurt, like, kidding me? And now you have to get another pitcher, like, probably two, because MacKenzie Gore's hurt. That means Adrian Morejon's probably going to be a guy that they don't want to get rid of now.
Correct.
This whole thing, it's like, if you really want to go,
it all goes back to the error.
And I said it. I said it's you. And you're the one that did it. It's your fault.
First of all, you can't do that. You can't steal someone's idea and then blame them after you try to take the credit for it on social media.
Yes, I can. I just did.
This is so Jim. Jim tweets. You guys all heard it. I came up with the idea. Jim says, "Can I tweet it?" He steals the idea. He tweets it, and then he prefaces it by replying to his tweet by saying, "At John Schaefer told me to tweet this. Blame him now too." So he takes no account of it. It's not his idea, and then he tries to blame me for it.
So basically what this means is the reason why they won't get Juan Soto is because of John Schaefer. This is your fault now.
Well, it could be because of Eric Hosmer. And we had a couple of guests on today on John and Jim, one of which Kyle Glazer talked about the Padres being potential suitors. He did mention MacKenzie Gore. Then we had Mike Farron on, and he talked about like the Royals organization at one point and just like prospects in 2015. He mentioned Myers and Hosmer in 2015. And he was talking about Juan Soto, and I basically equated that to saying, well, you could move Myers and Hosmer and get Juan Soto, but it's not going to be as simple as that, obviously, and it's only getting more challenging. Did you read the quotes from Andrew Friedman tonight of the Dodgers?
What did he say?
I need to find the exact quote. Can someone put that in the chat? Can you find that?
We're talking about Juan Soto?
Yeah, he was like, listen, you only have so many opportunities to go get a star, and if we have a chance to get a star, we need to do our due diligence. That's the paraphrasing, and I believe it's from Friedman. It's either the owner or Friedman.
All right, I'm going to bookmark it, so I'll play it tomorrow on the show. He says, whenever star-level players become available, we'll always have the conversation and dig in and try to make something make sense. Cool.
I mean, that's not encouraging.
And it sets up where if MacKenzie Gore is seriously injured, the Nationals aren't going to want to do that deal.
No. Well, not for Gore, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, if Gore was like a main piece of the deal, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they were chanting, they were like cheering Juan Soto Dodger Stadium tonight. Like every time he was at bat, they were giving him like ovation.
Yeah, it's just scary. It's like, we always talk about like just in life, like the rich getting richer. I mean, this is a Dodgers team that is red hot. There's no serious threat in this division, including the Padres, even if they traded for Juan Soto. There's no scenario where the Padres can even sniff the division. Yet they're concerned with adding a player of Juan Soto's caliber potentially for the stretch run because they're not worried about the division. They could care less. They're trying to win the World Series. Now, I would say go get Soto from the Padres' perspective, and you can do the same thing. You can win a World Series. And if it's not this year, you'd have a couple of cracks in 2023 and 2024. But if you're AJ Preller tonight and he already doesn't sleep, now you got to go back to the drawing board, I would assume, to try to entertain or lure the Nats into listening to your next offer. It's not the only offer, Jim. It's not like if they had MacKenzie Gore in the deal, there was some guarantee a trade was getting made. You can get creative. CJ Abrams would have to be involved, obviously. Maybe Adrian Morejon would have to be involved. I'm with you. That seems unlikely at this point. The Hassels and the Wood and the others would have to be involved potentially. But it's not like just because Gore is out, that definitively ends it. I just think it makes it more challenging. And it was always challenging. It was always going to be tough.
Well, not only is it challenging to now make a deal potentially for Juan Soto with MacKenzie Gore being like a major piece of the puzzle, but this also hurts your team like in the now. Now, I'm not saying MacKenzie Gore was good over the last however many outings he's had. He's actually been really bad.
Right.
But in the long-term stuff, if this is Tommy John, you just lost him for next year pretty much. And he's only pitched 60+ innings for you in his entire career.
Right. We got Mark with us here in the chat, title sponsor of the wrap-up show. Mark,
welcome, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a lot of just anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Is that Murphy's Law? And by the way, it's just we said, what did we say going into the All-Star break? That the All-Star break doesn't save bad play. It doesn't turn seasons around. Now, for 48 hours, it felt like maybe it would because they played a couple of good games in New York, although they didn't do it with their offense. And Bob Melvin said that tonight, by the way. He didn't say he was like, listen, we swung it okay in New York. We got good pitching. And now look at these last 2 days. Trailing to the Mets 8-1 yesterday. I know they rallied late against a non-closer. And then here today, trailing 9-1 to Detroit, the worst hitting team in baseball.
How many home runs did they have tonight? Like 4?
They hit 4. They'd hit 54 all year in essentially 100 games. So, again, it's like they're just not playing good baseball. And this idea that you just say, well, stop playing sloppy baseball. Well, they've said that obviously for the last 35 days, and it's not fixing anything. And I don't know if it's going to get fixed or not.
Well, you're also dealing with a situation where you got to take 2 or 3 from these guys.
What if you don't? Because there's a pretty good chance you don't.
It's unacceptable. I mean, it's just you're not serious. You're not as serious, unserious now if you don't take it from the Tigers. Like, what are we doing?
I know.
It's not the end of the world. I get it. But are you guys serious about really winning here or not? Like, what are we doing? You can't lose 2 or 3 to a team as bad as the Tigers.
And, I saw a comment just come in to the chat. And thank you guys for hanging out. If you want to make sure we get to the comments, if you want to support this channel, you can use the super by clicking the $ down below. If you're a Padres fan, you have to subscribe. That's all we ask. Please hit that subscribe button and smash the like button for us tonight as well. I saw a comment come in about the Padres potentially being sellers. I don't even see how it would be possible. And the reason I say it is they're so invested and they're drawing so well that even if you didn't believe in this behind closed doors, even if privately you thought that this team was headed for a similar result to 2021, which, by the way, I don't envision. I don't think this team goes 79-83. I just don't. But even if you thought this wasn't a very good baseball team and you were taking on water and it would be hard to improve your chances, you have to at least appear as if you're adding to this. You have to. I just don't see how you invest $230 million or trying to sell 40,000 tickets for the next 2 months of games and you sell off pieces. And who do you sell off? Tatis, Machado, Musgrove, it can't go anywhere. I mean, maybe a Snell could be moved, but there's not a zillion pieces to sell off. You can't even move Eric Hosmer. You can't even move Will Myers.
There's 0% chance this team is sellers. Could you imagine if they just traded away like Cronenworth and they got rid of Manaea because he's a free agent at the end of the year, so you can get some, are you kidding me? No, not happening.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't think it's happening either. With that being said, could I see them try to free up salary? Yes, only to take on salary. I think if you trade Snell, it's because you're trying to take on a starter. I think if you trade Hosmer or Myers, it's because you're taking on money. And you know what, Gus? To Gus's point, I mean, what's different? And this isn't a knock on Bob Melvin. Maybe it's more of a knock on the front office of the players. What's different from what Jace Tingler experienced as a manager last year? Now, maybe he's saying different things, but what's different about what the Padres went through last summer to what the Padres are going through this summer? What?
On the field wise?
Correct.
Not a lot. I think the biggest thing with Tingler was the off the field noise that he could not control. Mm-hmm. And it was like the wild, wild west. You had players saying stuff to the media that was like, dude, this is not it. And that was the stuff he couldn't control. But you're right. The on-field product and the on-field team, it kind of resembles a lot like last year. It really does at times. A lot of times, to be honest with you,
And Pedro's right. I mean, we all know this. We've known this since the first day of spring training. Tatis is out. They've played 98 games. They've played 34 more games than remain in the schedule. They have 64 games remaining, and he's not playing tomorrow. You get my point. I mean, in a best-case scenario, I don't even know what it looks like. He plays in a week, but there's 50-something games left. It's not a million games for him to impact,
If you take a step back, Do you think it's kind of like amazing that they're 11 games over 500 with the team there? Like with the offense they have, with no Tatis, shaky ass bullpen, injuries, and they're still 11 games over 500. Like what?
Yeah, it is. Now, here's the thing, though. What people don't, it's so much like last year, and you just hope they can avoid what occurred last year. Last year, we talked about Giants and Dodgers down the stretch. Be wary, be wary. It's coming. It's coming. It's like staring down the barrel of like a storm. You know it's coming. You can't stop a hurricane. You know it's coming. You might have 3 days to prepare. So they have a week to prepare right now. It's called the trade deadline. But after that, it's burn the ships, all hands on deck, and you play the Dodgers 12 of your last, I'm making it up, 55 games. That's 22% of your games are against the Dodgers.
They don't lose.
So what are you going to do? Are you going to go all in and improve this roster to compete with teams like Los Angeles, St. Louis, even others like San Francisco? I know the Giants have been awful. But it's not going to just come easy. They do have a 2.5 game lead right now in a wild card spot. I think it's 3 over the team that's outside the wild card looking in. So there's a little wiggle room, but 3 games doesn't last forever, and it could end in a weekend.
Really could. I mean, look how fast it ended last year for this team. They went into St. Louis and they got swept. Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
And
I do.
And they missed out on a wild card spot by almost 10 games. And that was late August.
Right? Was it that many games they missed out?
I think it was early September or late August. And it was a situation where they were neck and neck with the Cardinals. And they ended up, it was September. They were neck and neck with the Cardinals. And it was a huge series in St. Louis. And they got swept or lost 3 of 4 or whatever the case may be. Pagan gave up the most crushing home runs ever. I think that was the night I officially just lost it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I officially lost it on the Dodger game when Pagan gave up those 4 home runs, and you're like,
that was terrible.
What the hell? That was the official end of the season last year. But the Cardinals series last year, you're like, what? So you're right. It can happen so fast because you have a 2-game lead now. You lose 3-game lead. You 6. I mean, you're out of the playoffs potentially. The picture, at least.
So an update here, they're 10 over. They went 12 over. They've lost 2 straight. 10 so they're 10 over, 10 but over. They could fall to single-digit games over 500 very easily here. If they go 1-1, well, they'd be 10 over. Well, they'd have to get swept here. Nobody wants to see that. Yeah. To come home just 8 games over 500.
Isn't it just ironic how Jace Tingler's in town this weekend right at the trade deadline? After what happened last year, the trade deadline with this team, that clearly F them.
Dude, again, is it a little bit of deja vu all over again? Thank you guys for hanging out here tonight. We do want to remind you about Omar Sanchez at Edge Home Finance, our newest partner here on the Wrap-Up Show. He is your source if you need any mortgage help. He's here to help all Padres fans with their mortgages. Please text Omar right now. You can scan that QR code on screen or text him 619-387-7798, 619-387-7798. He's literally available to you 24 hours a day. You can text him anytime you watch this, whether it's live or on replay. He's your San Diego native mortgage broker, which means he's from San Diego. He's a huge Padres fan, and he went to San Diego State. And whether you're looking to buy your dream home or refinance to consolidate your debt, Omar can help. And if you're in the process of buying or refinancing and you want a second opinion to make sure you're getting the best deal possible, please just call or text Omar. You get a free consultation. If you're looking for referral partners, by the way, and you're here live or on replay, and you're looking to expand your book of business, reach out to Omar. I'm talking about realtors, CPAs, insurance agents, divorce attorneys, immigration attorneys. Omar wants to help you grow your business as well. The number to call is 619-387-7798. Let Omar Sanchez at Edge Home Finance help get you in the home of your dreams.
Yeah, text him right now, 619-387-7798. He told us to tell you to text him any time of the day. He'll always be there for you. The QR code at the top of the screen there that you see will take you to his website, edgehomefinance.com. He can help you with all your loan and mortgage needs. And, of course, when you reach out to him, let him know that John and Jim from the Wrap-Up Show sent you.
Omar, we appreciate your support of this channel. Our viewers, thank you guys for supporting our sponsors. That's how we're able to do this, along with your support with the supers, which, again, you can click the $sign down below if you want to weigh in with the super chat, like this one from our buddy Jake. Buy Bitcoin Daily out in Phoenix.
Jake.
Jake, what's going on, man? Thanks for your support. Good to have you with us here live in the chat. He says, guess how the entire train wreck started? In E3, and Gore, Tommy John guaranteed, he says, the way this team plays now compared to the first 45 games is insane. That last sentence is a great point. It's night and day, and it reminds me of 2021.
Yeah, this is not a small stretch anymore. This is a good amount of time where this team has played 500 baseball or below.
Mm-hmm.
This is not just 2 weeks. This
is 2 months.
2 months. And the start of the season is the cushion that they have right now. That's it. They're a 500 baseball team.
Yeah, for their last 2 months and 2 days, and they're even worse. Last 27, Jim, I think they're 10-17. I mean, it's just
not good.
It's bad. It's like, and now you're Preller. We've had this conversation, Jim, and it's like, what are you even trying to accomplish? I mean, everyone's trying to get Soto. I mean, that's easy. You and I can try to get Soto. I can pick up the phone. Everyone wants Juan Soto. If you can't land Juan Soto, and there's reasons to believe it's going to be hard, MacKenzie Gore being reason one, the Nats' motivation being reason two, the other 28 clubs in baseball, other than the Nats and the Padres, trying to acquire him as well. If you can't acquire Soto, where do you start? I mean, where do you is it? Tell me. I mean, where do you start? Wilson Contreras fix everything. Josh Bell, Andrew Benintendi, Brian Reynolds. I think that's an extreme long shot.
Hey,
Ramon Laureano.
We said if this team doesn't win this year, it's Preller's fault.
Right. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm not saying it's not.
And the players will deserve and get a lot of blame as well from us, of course. But like the pecking order here, it's Preller players. And the players, for who they are, like they've done okay. There's a lot of times it's not good enough. But Bob Melvin's sitting there like, I got dealt this hand at times. He's like, really? This is the lineup you've given me? Even with Tatis injured, this is the lineup you've given me? Are you kidding me right now?
This is for the chat. I mean, if you can't have Soto, throw a name or two in there. And I see people doing it. Contreras, I think he helps. Esteban, it's funny because it's true. Solo Dolo, Luis Castillo, Contreras, and Happ would absolutely help.
That would be nice.
Like Michael says, you better have a contingency plan. Shoot, it's probably your plan A, to be honest. I mean, it's going to be hard if Gore is out. You'd think he'd be a centerpiece of a deal. Maybe not the only way to get a deal done, but certainly one of the ways to get a deal done. Like YouTube says, none of these guys are impact players. I do think Contreras is, and I think Happ has had a really nice year. And we had Mike Farron on today saying that Happ has had a really nice year. He earned his way onto the All-Star team. He said Ramon Laureano would be an upgrade for this team.
Yeah, but could you imagine they get Ramon Laureano and like Ian Happ, and then, oh, by the way, Dodgers just got Soto.
Right. Well, that'd be a disaster.
Yeah.
I mean, I say that, Jim, but it's like, it's a disaster. I can't spin it any other way.
100%.
I just can't. I cannot spin it. And like Rich says, they have no slug. They're playing the worst slugging team in baseball, and they get out slugged all night.
Yeah, the Tigers looked like the freaking 27 Yankees tonight.
They really did. Jado says,
like Miguel Cabrera had a home run, dude. Are you kidding me? The guy came and run the bases.
I know. It's crazy. Girori and Castillo from Cincinnati. Judge, we can laugh. Jock Peterson's not happening in division. Contreras and Happ, I think, would be a huge win. I really do. A lack of Hosmer, I think, would be a big win. And people say, what do you mean? He's hitting 280, whatever. Just watch. You guys are watching. The people here watch. You guys understand. Maybe that's why they could spin him off, because you just look at the number and say, oh, okay.
Yeah, 270. It's good.
Yeah.
Good job, everybody. Good job. Great job. His OPS is 600.
You want Bogarts? I mean, are you willing to give up a lot for a rental in Bogarts and just say, Tatis, forget short. Kim, forget short. Xander Bogarts is our shortstop. Tatis can play in the outfield and DH. Kim can play as a reserve or at second. You can move Cronenworth to first. And, I mean, that's a really impactful move.
Is Bogarts rental?
He can opt out. So he is. He's supposed to opt out. So,
I mean, look,
kind of like that.
Screw it, whatever. But I just don't see Preller going like all in for rentals.
I know. You're right. He doesn't typically.
He doesn't the rental player. And, like Manaea is a rental and Taylor Rogers at this point are rentals, but you had him for the whole year. if you trade a bunch of pieces for a 55-game rental.
Yeah, it's a good point. So, I mean, how much could you give up for a 55-game rental? Again, that's not SOTO. If Bogarts is 2.5 years, you'd be like, oh wow, this is Plan B, because Plan A is SOTO, Plan B would be Bogarts. Yeah, I mean, if this happens, if it's Pham and then SOTO goes to the Dodgers, like, well, we have a good sports talk radio show, but nobody else is. I mean, it's kind of laughable.
Well, I will cuss at the on the radio. I think I will.
Will you?
I think that's the day. I know you've already cussed on the radio, so I think that's the day I'll pick, is the day I cuss on the radio. Brent will have the dump button ready, but that will be the day I drop this is bullshit.
The thing with Reynolds is he's been hurt. He's controllable through 2025. I don't envision it. I don't think you give up everything like you would for SOTO for Brian Reynolds, just how I see it. I think he's a nice piece. I don't think he's a crazy nice piece. I think he's very helpful, but I don't think he's the difference between winning a World Series or not. That's my personal opinion. Now, Myers, Joel says, isn't Myers supposed to be getting some time at first? Yes. But what is that? I guess that's an upgrade.
Now you have like 7 first basemen. Good job, everybody.
Right. Why? Listen, we asked this question of Mike Farron, who is so dialed in. He does it daily. He does a daily sports talk radio show on MLB Network Radio. He's so in tune with all 30 teams.
Yep.
And Jim literally asked it this way: is it stupid to even entertain Ohtani? I know the Angels have been playing terrible baseball. And he's like, dude, I do a sports talk radio show, and it is stupid, and I do it on the radio, and it's stupid. He said there's no reason to believe they're going to move him. Not to say that there's no scenario. He said maybe the team that finishes second for SOTO throws the whole SOTO package and more at the Angels, and the Angels are compelled to do it. But there's no reason he thought that they would be in that position, because they're probably just going to go back at it at 2023. I don't think the Angels are ever rebuilding. All they do is spend money and not win. That's not rebuilding. So even if they do trade Ohtani, you saw the reports from Ken Rosenthal, Jim, you're talking about getting major league players back, starting pitching, other outfielders back for Ohtani. Are you going to give up starting pitching? I mean, are they in a position to give up all this stuff to get Ohtani? Everyone would want Ohtani, but are they in a position? And I don't even think he's being traded. I don't even know why. Is anyone really talking about it?
No, I don't want to talk about it. It's not happening. You hate Ohtani anyway, so.
No, I would absolutely love it. He's got 1.5 years of control. I just don't see. I don't know. What are you trading for Ohtani?
Everything.
Right, but it's like, if everything's not enough for SOTO, is it enough for Ohtani?
Probably not.
It's just crazy.
Good talk.
I just don't know what to say. I mean,
Hosmer for Ohtani straight up. Who says no?
Yeah, I think that's a nice trade. I think both sides win.
Oh, yeah, solid. They need a first baseman, I heard.
Right.
Yeah, everything's fine.
All right, I do want to tell you about Aura, ORA.organic. If you're looking for a plant-based supplement, Aura is where you turn. ORA.organic. There's a link down below. You click this Build Your Routine button right here. You're getting 30% off your very first order. This is a plant-based nutritional company, and their co-founder, Will, is a huge Padres fan. He's a San Diegan. They've got offices in Liberty Station. He's done an amazing job with this company. I take a lot of their products, including a daily probiotic. This probiotic is good for your digestion and mental health, and a number of reasons you should be taking probiotics. Just Google it. Probiotics, if you're not taking one, you should be taking one every single day. They also have pre-workout supplements for you that are plant-based. They have proteins for post-workouts. They have omega-3 oils for you. They have sleep supplements. They have immunity pills as well. They have something for everyone, literally. It can help improve your health. It can improve the health of your family as well. Just click the shop button at the top. You can shop as you watch the wrap-up show here tonight. But again, ORA.organic, a great supporter of the wrap-up show. If you support this channel, we ask that you check out their site, ORA.organic.
Yeah, build your routine. Click on that. They have everything you need to live a healthy lifestyle. Highly recommend the raspberry lemonade flavored pre-workout. It's cleanest on the market. It's vegan, organic based. You'll take the pre-workout and you won't get the jitters. You won't get a giant crash after you're done with your workout. So when you go to www.aura.organic, click the Build Your Routine, you get 30% off your first order. You will definitely thank us later.
You think there's any chance, I mean, again, he said, you think there's any chance they just part ways with Hosmer? Not now. I'm kind of thinking at the end of the year. If they can't move him, do you think there's any chance they part ways with him?
We talked about this. There has to come a point where you just cut the ties, cut the cord. You are in a state. You've been in a state of limbo for the last 2 years with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted to get rid of him, not this past off, but the offseason before that. So 2 off seasons ago, you were trying to get rid of him, and now you're potentially 2 years from that point of initially wanting to get rid of the guy. At some point as a franchise, you have to sit down and go, look, this is going to kind of piss some people off in the clubhouse, and it's going to upset some players, but it's got to be done. This guy is not helping us win. He might have a couple hits here and there, but overall, he is a replacement level player at best. And the money we are paying this guy is hurting us from building a better roster, a better team.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to now just cut weight. It's over. This is done. I don't. If he's not traded in a week, I will get it, because it's hard to trade a guy that nobody wants, the immovable object. But if this offseason there isn't a tipping point where you either trade him to a place he wants to go for literally nothing, or you DFA him, if he's still on this team next year, opening day, I will be upset.
I'd be honestly surprised at this point. Now, Mark, to your point, here's the deal. So you can't, at the end of the year, right, because of his 10-5 rights, you can't trade him at the end of the year. But I'd be at the point where you can't trade him without him signing off.
That's the thing. But you can still,
But here's the thing: if you couldn't move him in the 2020 offseason, if you couldn't move him at the 2021 deadline or 2021 offseason or 2022 deadline, I find it hard to believe they could move him in the offseason. Now, will he make less money? To everyone's point, yeah, 13 a year is not 20, but 13 a year is still overpaying for a guy that's in his mid-30s that has had a serious decline. You don't need to pay him $39 million. You could go get a first baseman for $6 million that has double, if not triple, the production in WAR in 1 year to Eric Hosmer. So I think if you can't move him at the deadline, and maybe they can, maybe I'm an idiot for saying that, maybe that's naive, but if you can't move him at the deadline, I think you have 2 choices: cut him or bring him back to start 2023.
It has to be those 2 options. Like, you cannot have a situation where he's on this team opening day, or at least the start of spring training. Just can't have that happen. It's over. He's done. Over. Yeah.
I mean, the Hosmer thing's a conundrum. It really is. I don't know. People say DFA him. I don't see that happening, Jim, in season. I really don't. I think, how would that be perceived in that clubhouse? And if we're saying that this clubhouse is better than last year's clubhouse, I don't think you cut Eric Hosmer. Now, I think you could trade him, and you could sell it on, well, we've made our team better, but I don't think you can
cut. You can't cut. No, not at this point. No.
But this is a team right now, Jim. Think about this. Okay, the Gore injury we'll find out about. It's at a minimum real time. I mean, weeks, right? At a minimum, because we know how arm injuries work with anyone. Then you got Abrams, who's been out. I know it's minor, but it's not good timing for Abrams not to be playing and for Gore to be out. Then you have...
Oh, I forgot about that. Shit.
Yeah, then you have Grisham. You have Grisham, who's nicked up, isn't he? So you got Grisham. No, he did start. I'm sorry. Has he been nicked up, though? Oh, yeah, because he took that hard fall. He has. He took a hard fall in New York. I mean, he's playing. Yeah. That's fine. But it's just like, I don't know. I look at this roster, and I'm like, you called up Ruiz. He comes off the bench. Machado has struggled since the ankle injury. It's just not clicking. It's just not clicking. What's going to make it click?
I don't know, John.
Can you figure that out?
I will try to figure it out. And you try to figure it out when you plug in your wife's headphones.
I will. Cronenworth, to the chat's point, has not been good. Here recently, 0 for 4 here tonight. I mean, you look at this just box score real quick tonight, and it's like, what? You allowed 12 runs to the Tigers, who are 39 and 58, and they don't score.
Pretty bad.
Candelario, 2 home runs.
Who
else? Exactly. Who hit that grand slam? Haas, not Hosmer. Haas.
Miguel Cabrera hit a home run tonight. Think about that. He's like 2 on the year.
Yeah. And then Rich saying Grish has 10 home runs and 34 RBIs. But, I mean, we're 100 games in. I mean, yeah, that's productivity on this team. But, pace for 16, 17 home runs from a starting center fielder and 48, 50 RBIs is, it's just kind of an average player, right? If that.
Yes.
And then Vito says this.
No, that's the thing. I want to see this play out. I want to see this year play out. I'm not going to. That's
no doubt. I'm with you.
This year has got to fully play out to see how things go.
Imagine if he got fired like July 30th and then like the new GM was just like wheeling and dealing.
He's like, this guy's gone, this guy's gone, this guy's gone.
We'll have much more for you, folks. We'll have much more for you throughout the course of this week. Trade deadline is coming. We are 1 week away. What will AJ Preller do? Something, inevitably. So even last year, he did nothing, and he did something with Frazier, with Marisnik, with Hudson. He'll be active. Now, how impactful will the moves be? We're going to find out. We'll find out in the second half of the season. And is he, again, kind of working for his job in the second half of this year? I don't really see it that way. I think the fans might see it that way, but I'm not sure if he's really treating this trade deadline like his job is on the line. But we're going to find out. Okay. As a reminder, thank you guys for hanging out. Please subscribe. If you're a Padres fan, we ask that you subscribe. We have year-round Padres content for you. Please hit the notification bell as well. You'll be notified when we go live. Smash the like button for us. That helps us out. Smash that like button for us. Follow us on Twitter at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. Again, if you're here live or on replay, if you want this cap, we have the brand new integration down below. You can click on the wrap-up show cap and pick this up right now. We appreciate you hanging out. We appreciate your support of our merchandise as well. Also, if you want to become a member, click that join button down below. You'll get custom emojis and badges, and you will get the members-only content as well. Just for shits and giggles. There's some merch.
Dude.
Who do we say Jim was? Jim's the tall guy, according to Darren, on the right.
Yeah, I'm no. Yeah, I'm the dude in like the baseball tee, and you're like the hipster in the corner there with the big hair.
Okay, so I'm the short guy on the far right, and you're second from the right.
Yep.
With the baseball shirt. Marty's 2 from the left. Darren's in the middle, and J Riff is far left.
Oh my God, that's we got to clip that. That's Darren, Jonathan, and Marty right there.
Dude, actually, I'm going to post this on Twitter and be like, listen to Extra from 12 to 6 with Darren.
From 12 to 3. From 12 to 3, listen to Darren, Marty, and J-Riff and tag them and put those 3 pictures up.
Dude, that is so good. And then also on the way out, become a member, custom emojis, badges, members-only posts. You can click that join button down below. Okay, support our partners, Mark Nimitz and Farmers Insurance. You can save $750 on your insurance by switching to Mark Auto, Home, Renter's Life, Earthquake Insurance. Link down below for a San Diegan and a great supporter, our title sponsor of this channel. Will at Aura, the co-founder of Aura, get 30% off your very first order at ora.organic, all plant-based nutrition. And Omar Sanchez at Edge Home Finance. You can text him literally right now, 619-387-7798. He is here to help all Padres fans with their mortgage needs, 619-387-7798. Jim, I'll see you tomorrow at 3 on the radio, extra 1360. Please join us at 3 p.m. Enjoy your room tonight, Jim. Jim left. Just like he just left. I'm watching you, Jim. I can see him in the backstage. Jim's gone. How about that? He's just gone. He didn't even like say goodbye. How rude, right? Come on, Jim. What'd you guys think of that? I might stick around for another minute now. Like he takes my tweet ideas and then he blames me for his tweets. Come on, Jim. Juan says he's going to get drunk. I see some Jim Wow emojis from our members in there. Michael says rude. Yeah, I think that's what's going on. Like you see Jim gets antsy late in these videos, doesn't he, folks? You've been watching. If you've been watching over the last week or two, how antsy does Jim get like at the 40-minute mark? Because he thinks his girl's going to like break up with him because he's talking Padres too late. This is great. But yeah, listen, priorities, right? This is great. Here I am. I'm like every night, Taylor Rogers, trying to hold on to a lead, which has proved hard to do. Yeah, exactly, Rich. This dude, first of all, Right. He made me public enemy number one in Japan. He rolls out of the wrap-up show early. He skips half the wrap-up shows. He steals my content for Twitter. Come on, man. Now he did rant. If you missed that rant, seriously, if you're not following us on Twitter at John and Jim, can you do that right now? Can you switch over to Twitter, JONANDJIM. Find that rant. He did go off today. It was kind of funny. And then he was kind of like nervous about posting it online. He's like, what if they get mad? I'm like, dude, just post the thing. Live a little bit, man. Come on. He's going to be so mad when he watches this, and I just like rip into him for like 5 minutes, just kill him. Probably does. No lies detected, Fritz. None. And Fritz, thanks for picking up a cap. I saw you did that yesterday. Thank you for your support of the wrap-up show by picking up this wrap-up show cap. We got tons of merch for you. There's a link down below if you want to check it out. Probably does have to make dinner. Yeah, let's just rip Jim for a minute in the chat. Soft. Yeah, he's probably got like 3 apps that are buzzing right now. Does he, Moises? He does sometimes to the wrap-up show. I don't know if he shows up to work drunk. He probably has. Like Michael says, the rant was ridiculous. It's got like, if you click on it, it's got like 7,000 listens or something. So yeah, the rant was ridiculous. He just left. Like he didn't even say goodbye. Who does that? Thank you, Rich. And yeah, tomorrow again with the 4:00 game. I mean, just turn the game on and listen to us. We're talking about the game the entire show. If you've been listening to us over the last handful of months, we do not shy away from talking about the Padres when the Padres are playing. Sometimes that's kind of a strategy in radio. Hey, let's reverse program it. We can talk basketball or football. We're like, no, people want to talk Padres. We're talking Padres. Rent was what we were all feeling. No doubt. I'm with you, B Danger. Yeah, he'll come back. Like if I keep this open for another handful of minutes, he'll be back because he's definitely like watching this. I guarantee you, he's watching this stream right now. Say hi, Jim. Comment in the chat. Yeah, you know what, Cam? I thought that, but it's not accurate. It's not accurate. That's funny. Wow, look at this, Rich. Rich taking shots at Jim. Jim in Snell mode. Give time to Ruiz in center. I see you guys still commenting here on the Padres. Let's see. Yeah, there's no easy answer. There's no easy answer here. There's just not. I mean, Soto's an easy answer. I think Contreras is a big addition. I think Castillo is a big addition. I don't know how necessary he is when you struggle on offense like this, but there's just no easy answer. There's just not. I love it. Wow, look at this. Replace him with Ben Fadden talking Friars. What do you guys think? Jim would be so mad. He probably is, Vito. No, here's the thing. There was no Wi-Fi cutoff. I saw him backstage. I can see him. And he was like smiling. And Jim. Jim. He's not worried about this channel. Am I, J-To? Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's Jim. Hey, what's going on? All right, guys, I am going to roll. This has been funny, though. Wait, hinted at what? Fadden? 100%, Johnny. He's scared. He could be Wally pipped. Lose your internet? Lose your job. We're kidding. He's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. I see some of these comments rolling in. No, you're not going to catch him doing that. He's probably buying this Hosmer jersey. Mania, you know what, Sam? That inning sucked. I mean, could he have done a better job to get out of it? Yeah, he could have. And there were some weak hits in that inning. I mean, first of all, the ground ball to Hosmer, the play has to be made. Then there was an infield single. There was the ball that was lined off his back. You should be able to get out of that spot before 5-run score. I agree with that. But I can't put the majority of the blame on Mania. And then afterwards, Mania just didn't have it. But you were already trailing 5-1, and you're now, kind of putting the onus on at that point, you've kind of lost your groove. And that's, that's an excuse. Manai's been up and down. I think his best strength has been his ability to work deep into games, but he hasn't necessarily been lights out. He's not typically giving you 7 innings, 1 run, or 6 innings, no runs. He's going to get hit a little bit. So if he gives you 6 innings, 3 runs, you need to find a way to win. Or if he gives you 7 innings, 3 runs, you need to find a way to win. And tonight was not his best night, but he was also done in by shoddy defense. And I do think that played a huge role in the Padres losing this game here today. Okay, I think I'm going to roll, guys. This has been pretty funny, though. Thank you guys for hanging out. Again, we'll be back with you tomorrow night, 9 p.m., likely. Padres, Tigers. Jado, thank you for the super, man. Thank you for the super. Do appreciate it. Appreciate you guys' support of this channel. It means a lot to us. Seriously does. As you know, it's kind of a labor of love to do this day in and day out. So thank you for the super. He says for staying late and being a boss. Night, my friend. Jado, thank you. Seriously, and all you guys that watch this live or on replay, we really do appreciate it. I mean, we're not doing this if not for Padres fans. I mean, we're doing this for Padres fans. If you've been with us since the pandemic season, I mean, we did the 60 games on the radio, and then we did last year basically entirely on the radio, and then we switched gears to YouTube late in the season in September, and we've been doing basically on YouTube in addition to on the radio. I mean, you guys have been unbelievable. I think Padres fans have been just fantastic, seriously, in supporting this channel. So we appreciate that. So thank you, Jado. Thank you, Moises. I mean, you guys are really kind. So thank you. Moises says $10 for hanging out longer. Thank you, guys. Really not necessary, but it is greatly appreciated. We thank you for the supers. And again, like I say, if you're able to support this channel, it doesn't have to be monetarily, whether it's subscribing to our podcast, the audio only edition of the wrap up show, or just subscribing or liking these videos or following us on social media. You know where to find us. We do appreciate it. We really do. So Moises, thank you. Jato, thank you. And we'll have you covered over the trade deadline. We will. We'll be busy over the trade deadline. So we'll see what Preller does. I mean, it's starting to pick up some steam. You're seeing some minor moves around baseball. We only have 1 week. I don't think August 2nd will be the big day. I think August 1st and July 31st will be the biggest days of the deadline. So we're less than a week out from July 31st and August 1st. And I think we'll probably have big moves before July 31st as well. So it's coming. We'll see what the first shoe to drop is when it comes to a big move. And we'll see if the Padres can still pull off a massive trade for Juan Soto. Doesn't seem easy at this point. I don't think it was ever going to be easy. Maybe it's more challenging right now because of what happened tonight with MacKenzie Gore. But that's not to say it's impossible. I'm not ruling it out. And you're going to see a lot of articles about, oh, man, Gore cost them the possibility of this, or you don't know what's going on behind the scenes unless you're behind the scenes. And it's a unique game. And you look at even the trade that the Dodgers made last year for Scherzer and Turner. And I don't think a lot of people would have thought that would be the trade that gets the Nationals to move on both Scherzer and Turner. So we don't know what the Nats want. We don't know what the Padres are offering, and we don't know if they can pull it off or not. So we only know what we know, if that makes sense. Yeah, I don't want the gig. I don't want the gig. A little bit of a therapy show. And yes, Rich, when you've spent 15 years working in minor league baseball, you've worked some late nights. You've done some 4 and 5 hour broadcasts and games, and you've been on buses, and you've arrived at 3 a.m. I'm so glad Bob Melvin said that, by the way. I'm so glad Bob Melvin said, when Kevin Acee asked him a really good question, he should have asked him because it's topical. He said, is the late arrival a factor? You got in at 3:30 to Detroit International. You probably didn't put your heads on the pillow until after 4 a.m. Is that a factor? And Bob Melvin said 0. That's an excuse. And having spent as much time as I spent in the minor leagues and traveled around the country and done it on buses and not on first-class airfare or private aviation, guys got to perform. There is no excuse at the end of the year that says, oh, you had a 4.5 ERA, but you pitched twice on travel days, or you pitched on short, sleep after arriving at a hotel at 6 a.m. That's the business. That's the gig. And the truth is, it's never been easier than it is now, because almost every series in baseball, when a team travels, they're playing off a day game, not a night game. So the Padres are playing a night game because it's Sunday night baseball, and that's really an advantage. I mean, that's a way for fans to see this franchise that typically don't get a chance to see this team. It's not like the game started at 8:30 at night. It started at 7 p.m. Eastern, and it ended late, and they had to fly, a 2-hour flight from New York to Detroit, and they got to be ready to go. And there are no excuses. And oftentimes, I remember from the minor leagues, I'd hear this all the time in the clubhouse. It's not the day you arrive and the night you play. It's the next day. It's day 2 when you're sluggish. So they were super sluggish here tonight on night 1 with the travel. What are they going to look like tomorrow? But again, got to put it behind you. There's just not enough baseball in front of this team for them to make excuses about, well, we didn't play well because of this and we had to travel. Every team has to travel. Every team deals with it over the course of 162. And it's not an excuse. And I'm glad Bob Melvin said as much here tonight that it is not an excuse for these Padres. So let's see, like David says, let's see if they can get a win against the Tigers for the first time ever in Detroit. I mean, if not, it's like, what on earth is happening? 0-7 all time in Detroit against the Tigers. World Series, okay. 2005, whatever. And now here tonight against this bad Tigers team, they got to find a way to pick up a victory here at some point over the next 2 days, whether it be Tuesday night or Wednesday morning. All right, guys, do appreciate it. Just looking at some of the comments that are rolling in here. All right, we'll be back with you again tomorrow at 9 p.m. Thanks for hanging out here tonight, whether it was live or on replay. For Soft Jim, he's very soft. I'm John. We will catch up with you tomorrow on the radio at 3 p.m. and then on YouTube as well tomorrow night. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.